Welcome, Mahopac community. Welcome, Mahopac community, to our public meeting for September 9th, 2025. Can I get a motion to open the meeting, please?
So moved.
Vice President Masafra, can I get a second? Second. Trustee Carway, all in favor?
Aye.
Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you everybody, and welcome. It's a nice start to the week. Up there, I'm sure Superintendent Mealy will tell you, but football had a nice win Friday night up in Schenectady, New York, against Queensbury, 13-0. So we have our fingers crossed and high hopes for our teams as we move into our fall season. Right now, what I'd like to do is I'd like a motion to appoint Lisa Porco, our pro tem for this evening. Resolved, the Mahopac Central School District Board of Education appoints Lisa Porco as clerk pro tem for the September 9th, 2025 regular meeting. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Trustee Travis, second. Ooh, that was pretty close. It was pretty close, but we'll give it to Nicole this time, Lisa, all right? Okay. Trustee Iacono, all in favor? Aye. Okay. Turn it right over. Lisa, do we have any comments on agenda items this evening? Okay. Okay, that's fine. Giovanna, are you here? Okay. All right. Well, listen, she's got the links of love in her, and she gets here for her resident comments. That would be fine too. Okay. With that said, without any other, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Marie, there you go. Hi, Marie, come right up over there. Hello, and thank you for joining us tonight, Marie.
Thank you, Mr. Mongan, and the board and superintendent. So some of these are repeats of what I had spoken about at the work session, but I think since it's not recorded, I thought I would do it again. So the first question was school breakfast questions. After last week's presentation at the work session, I looked to see requirements, and they're whole grain rich item, fruit or vegetable, milk or alternative for students with allergies. I really can't see donuts or Pop-Tarts fitting into these requirements, no matter how you stretch your imagination. I'm concerned for younger children who are now eating breakfast during school time. What part of school time is being taken up for breakfast? Will children who ate breakfast at home also have to eat breakfast so the children who are eating breakfast are not stigmatized? Can parents communicate their desire to not get breakfast? Next topic. On Dr. Lawrence's presentation, I'm not compelled with the need for the seal of biliteracy by fiscal 25-26. When reading in English in Mahopac schools is almost half the other schools in the state, concentrate on English. Bronxville schools that spent a bit less than we do per child has double our proficiency scores. Why is this? Also, why do all these high-performing schools have very low non-tested percentages? Why do Mahopac parents not want their students tested? So until we can do a better job in reading, I can't see the need for biliteracy, never mind trilingual, unless this is because we do have a large non-English population who will become bilingual by learning English. Next, financial literacy. Why is that less important than biliteracy with a later implementation date? I think financial literacy is more important. When I go to a cashier and they can't make change at a register, something is wrong. Financial literacy is imperative to be successful in life. Okay, we keep stressing college readiness. Today's Wall Street Journal showed a shortage of technically skilled workers in the U.S. It's increasingly evident that technical schools can provide a good alternative to college and provide lucrative jobs that are in demand, such as welders, electricians, plumbers, steel craftsmen, without incurring amounts of debt. Student learning environment, I'm not sure what creating a profile means. I thought every student was his or her own person. Student well-being, I think we're really off the track here. Restorative practices. I do not believe this controversial practice was actually adopted by the school board as a program. I remember it being brought up last year and it was tabled twice. Can an administrator adopt this provision on their own? Because it looks like it is adopted. It's a big mistake. Restorative practices do not address the bad behavior, forces victims to accept apologies that are not accompanied by change of behavior. If you remove traditional discipline methods that work to facilitate order and safety, teachers will move to more fulfilling jobs and not babysitting students because they can misbehave with impunity. Improve equity and access for all students. This is pure DEI language, which could cost our school district federal funding. You cannot have equal outcomes for all students. We should always be providing students with equal opportunities and help those as appropriate. The April 25 executive order forbid this type of preferential treatment. Providing all students with appropriate resources to meet their social and emotional needs. Schools should be providing education, not therapy. I've said this before, that we've lost our way in educating our children. Therapy is for family to determine. If the child is creating havoc and disturbing other students, parents should be advised to get help for them. Why are we providing counseling and mental health curriculum? I cringe at a recent commercial at how a student who didn't go to school because he didn't feel well asks his fellow student what to do, and of course he recommends going to the school mental health counselor. How about speaking to your parents? Why are parents giving up their responsibilities to children? Sometimes I think we should be instructing parents they need to feed their children breakfast and not just us providing it for free. And then one other thing I just wanted to add, on the October 7th meeting for special ed, as a parent, I did have a child with an IEP, but I know there are many more severe issues our parents are dealing with. I hope this meeting will provide for those not involved in the special education process the breadth and depth of what the special education department provides. I saw items on the consent agenda today which may or may not relate to special ed curriculum. Strategic Learning, Inc. provide home instructional services. Learn Well provide academic tutoring services. Mario Pellegrino, occupational therapy, occupational services. Spec Ed Solutions reconcile Medicaid claims. Holistic Learning Center provides parents counseling service and behavioral analysis services. CNC Behavior Consulting provides parents counseling services and behavior analysis. I think it's important to understand the complexities of the special ed program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marie. Wow. Very nice. Okay, thank you, Lisa. So is there anybody else that would like to comment on the consent agenda items only right now? Okay, all right. So I'll turn it right now over to our superintendent of schools, Frank Mealy, for his superintendent report. Frank?
Thank you, President Monaghan. Was it on? Good evening, everyone. I'll just take a few moments to go over a couple of things that I've listed, especially since we just started school. We're a week into it. So I just want to give you some of the updates that, that I've seen visiting the high school, the middle school, and all the elementary schools. First and foremost, the transition days for our kindergartners, 6th graders, and 9th graders went awesome. It's probably one of the best things that we could have ever done, just to get those kids ready for that first and second day of school. Just gets them to acclimate and just get ready without the pressures of some of the higher grades in the building. So kudos to the administrators and especially our kids and parents on that particular day. Then the following day we had the opening of schools, which I personally think that first day everyone is excited about the first day of school. Teachers are excited, the students are excited, the staff is excited. I wish we could have that excitement every single day, getting ready for that first day. But it went. I personally think it went well. The last week, I've been at some of the schools as far as the breakfast and lunch programs, and last week we had a great presentation from our Kathy Weinberg, who's our Director of Foods, as well as Alyssa Murray, as well as Valerie Neerman, who's our Health Coordinator. And, I thought they gave a great presentation. This is the only thing that I'm saying about the breakfast and lunch. I was there. Some kids take it, some kids don't. I just say this. We're going to take a look at it for this next month. If I feel, and I like to think that any changes that we need to make will happen during this next month, especially the breakfast, because that seems like it's the biggest item. But if I feel that, there's still some concerns, then I'm bringing back Kathy Weinberg again at our next board meeting, as well as Valerie Neerman, and Alyssa Murray's already here, to explain any of the changes that we've made. Me personally, I think if we have a little patience, the next month, I think anything that we need to iron out will be ironed out. But we just need a little patience. But believe me, I've gone to all the elementary schools. The process is going seamlessly. I'm going to the high school. It's starting to pick up. More and more kids are eating, as well as the middle school. And that's where we are as far as the breakfast and the lunch. Like I said, I thought it went as good as it could go for never having done the breakfast part of it. So just please have some patience. Next, cell phones. They're going better than I expected. My biggest concern was the high school. And, I've talked to the high school principal as well as some of the assistants and administrators. I've gone through the school. Every once in a while, you'll see a student with a phone out, and all we've said is, please put the phone away, and they have. There hasn't been any problems. There hasn't been any conflicts. It's pretty much, and I got to tell you, the superintendents from our area are still taking a look at the policies. And, some have the idea maybe students should be using their phone during lunch. And these are all things that, other superintendents are looking at, and, these are things that are coming down the road, but right now we do have a state policy that we have to follow.
Right.
Bell to bell, can't have your phone out, but somewhere along the line, there might be some wiggle room, I think. Tennis courts are up and running. People are, looking to play pickleball. They're bringing their own nets, so that's a plus. The practice lights are up and running, mostly really for our sports association students, right? Which is a good thing. It took us a little while. Every time we ask for something, they say, well, we're waiting for the part. Okay, that's the same thing at Fulmer Road. We're waiting for the part to remediate the playground area. Okay, so we're right on top of it, I think. Next, back to school nights. I can't emphasize enough, get involved with your students' schools. Meet the teachers, listen to the principal, get the feeling of, where your kids are going. They talk about curriculum, they'll talk about a whole bunch of different things that really, the more you're aware, the better it is as a parent and the better it is for your student. But you'll see me at all of them, the ones I can make. There's a couple that are side by side. So you might not see me, maybe you'll see a poster of me if I can make one. All right, but I will be around. But those dates are, the elementary is on September 15th for K to 2. They're on the 17th for 3 to 5. The middle school is September 10th for 6th graders, September 16th for 7th graders, September 18th for 8th graders, and then high school is on the 25th. So like I said, make every effort to get there and, listen to the curriculum that your kids are going through so that you're a little more aware of exactly what they're going through. We do have the special ed night, which was mentioned on October 7th at 6:30 right here in the high school. You'll have an opportunity to meet our administrators. And I've said this before, we're tackling special ed head on. We're doing all the things I think are necessary. Our administrators they've done a lot of work just in the last week. Our special ed teachers, I think, are doing a great job. And if not, then they'll hear from me, I guess. But like I said, we're holding everybody accountable to do their job. And little by little, I think we're going to attack it in the right way, and I think a lot of positive things will come from it. But that September 7th meeting should be a good one. I think it'll explain our philosophies and what we're trying to do, and should clear up some of the air as far as what's going on. And then last, from now on, any of the board meetings prior, I named it 30 minutes before, Moments with Mealy. Okay, if you have any questions, you want to talk to me, you whisper in my ear. Listen, I get emails every day. I get texts every day. Okay, and if I showed them to you, you go, oh, I can't believe it. Well, that's the way this job is. And you know what? I take everyone seriously. If you have a concern, then it's my concern. When I hear from you, I kind of put myself in your position. And that's how I handle it, and that's how I try to make decisions based on what I'm hearing from you, and I'm trying to figure, hey, if I was in that position, what would I be looking for? So, and that's my report. We did have an extensive one last week during the work session. We went over, quite a few things. We think we're in a very good spot. Little by little, I think we're working hard. So without further ado, me personally, I think that's the best part of the whole night, our student board members. These are the brightest and the sharpest kids around, and I'm so proud that they're here, and if you hear them, they're amazing. So, and I've given them opportunity to speak. So without further ado, we're going to start with Selena Wendler, right here.
Check. Step back. Okay. I'm getting used to this. Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Selena Wendler, and I am one of the 4 student board members. I've been attending Mahopac schools my entire life. One thing that I would like to address that continues to affect students across our district is the lack of meaningful mental health support that reflects the complexity of our lives. I want to emphasize that effective mental health resources for all students are necessary. While some resources exist, many students, especially those from marginalized or high-pressure academic backgrounds, struggle in silence because of stigma, limited access, or lack of cultural understanding. As mock trial president, I've seen high-achieving students quietly burn out. As a Rice Club advocate, I've heard peers from underrepresented backgrounds describe the difficulty of carrying identity-based stressors on top of schoolwork. And through my time in student government, I've seen how student voices can reveal patterns of exclusion that adults might overlook. And speaking as a Latin and African American woman, I've witnessed firsthand how students from my community often feel unseen in a predominantly white environment. Now, why does this matter? How is this relevant to our school? This matters because academic success cannot be separated from mental health and wellness. Students who feel misunderstood or unsupported are less likely to thrive in the classroom, less likely to reach their potential, and more likely to disengage from school altogether. To address this, I want to speak to all of you, including the board here, to consider several solutions. I want to consider expanding partnerships with mental health institutions that cater to the needs of all our students. Hire and retain more diverse teachers, counselors, and staff who reflect our student demographics. Create both safe and brave spaces where students can openly discuss identity, race, and belonging. Lastly, we must encourage culturally responsive teaching strategies that affirm who students are. Statistically, our district is nearly 70% white, but 1 in 4 students is Hispanic, with growing Black, Asian, and multiracial populations. Representation matters. Students deserve to see themselves reflected in the adults guiding them, guiding their career paths, their education. By investing in culturally responsive resources, we not only strengthen mental health support, but also unlock academic potential for every student in our schools. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Matthew Canelli. I'm a senior here at the high school. I just got a few quick things I want to say. I just want to review the New York State phone ban. From what I've seen sitting in the classroom, I would say it's personally going pretty well compared to my previous years throughout schooling. I've seen increased student involvement and increased participation in the classroom, which has definitely been better throughout like last year and the years before that. Less distraction, and I've actually seen like in the cafeteria and during our free periods, more social interactions than kids on their phones. It's definitely hard for a lot of kids. I'm often reaching for my phone a lot, but it's definitely better. There's a lot less drama and arguments going out through the school from social media, stuff getting posted online during the school day. But overall, I think it's been benefiting the school all around. It's just a big change that a lot of kids are gonna have to like adjust to. Another thing, the New York State free lunch, amazing, is definitely beneficial for a lot of kids. More kids are getting breakfast in the morning, including me. We all know it's the most important meal of the day, so it's better that a lot of kids are getting this, help them with their classes, and feel ready for the day. It helps families save money on food, and I encourage all students to continue taking use of this. And that's it. Thank you.
Okay, good evening. For everyone who doesn't know me, my name is Sirgat. I am 15 years old. I'm a junior here at the high school. Firstly, it's a pleasure for me to be able to speak to you all today, and even more so to be able to report some good news about a topic I know so many were deeply concerned about. The bathrooms in the high school are in much better condition than they were years prior. Secondly, I'd like to mention something that's critically important to me at the high school, and that is our medical awareness, both mental and physical. It is my mission to educate our staff on the importance of seizure safety, as epilepsy is a condition I have lived with for many years. And in that, the staff is not yet trained. I will be leading 2 seminars on November 4th, Superintendent's Day, to hopefully get a solid amount of not just the high school, but district-wide staff educated on seizure safety. We did at one point have an EMT course that students could take, but due to its recent absence, awareness on medical topics among students as well as staff have taken an unfortunate dip. In addition to the mental side of things, I have also been in contact with the local mental health facility, Cove Care, and we will be working on getting some assemblies and more awareness of the availability of their resources for our students. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we're going to go, excuse me. Okay, so we have an announcement from the board. This would be for our ad hoc advocacy announcement for tonight's meeting. So we have 2 ad hoc committees that we'll be establishing this evening. The first one, an ad hoc special education committee. The Special Education Ad Hoc Committee's goal is to strengthen communication between families and the district by developing clear processes that consistently support students over time. Pursuant to Policy 2260, the Board of Education is asking community members to submit a letter of interest. This can be found on the district clerk page. Kindly contact the board vice president, Lucy Masafra, masafra@mahopac.org with any questions. We ask that this form be completed by October 9th, 2025. In addition, we have our Ad Hoc Advocacy Committee. The Ad Hoc Advocacy Committee will review advocacy topics and maintains a dialogue with the student body, faculty, and community, along with legislators to advocate for district policies as applicable, such as curriculum changes, testing, and fiscal management. They will also communicate with legislators to advocate for district policies as applicable, such as curriculum changes, testing, and fiscal management. Pursuant to Policy 2260, the Board of Education is asking community members to submit a letter of interest, their interest. This can be found on the district clerk page kindly contact our Board Vice President, Lucy Musafra, musafra@mahopac.org, with any questions. We ask that this form again be completed no later than October 9th, 2025. And we jump down to board committees. Be it resolved, the Board of Education hereby adopts the following committees to be established for the 2025-2026 school year. We have Audit and Finance, Policy, Facilities, Curriculum, Ad hoc Special Education, Ad hoc Advocacy, and we have our explanation of each of the categories here. The curriculum review and evaluates the instructional programs, curriculum standards, and educational materials, monitors implementation and effectiveness, and recommends changes to support high-quality student learning, advising the whole board on related academic policies. That's the curriculum committee. Policy committee reviews district policies. This is really how the board really governs, is through policy. Recommends changes to current policies, addition of new policies, and deletion of outdated policies based on changes in law and recommendations from the New York State School Board Association, NYSBA. Advises the whole board on policy updates. Our Finance and Audit Committee reviews and monitors issues related to the school district budget and financial audits. Recommends adjustments and modifications to policies concerning the school district's budget, financial audits, and recommends these adjustments to the whole board. Facilities. Facilities Committee reviews policies, procedures and safety measures put in place in compliance with current policies. Make recommendations as needed. The Facilities Committee is responsible for providing guidance, oversight, and when appropriate, specialized expertise to the institutional administration in the following areas, and advises the whole board on facility updates and improvement plans. Those would include long-range physical planning, capital projects, facilities-related policies and procedures, and operations and maintenance. Donations. Would you like to read the donation?
Sure.
Please. Yeah, sure.
So we have a donation on the agenda tonight. So be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby accepts a donation from the Lakeview Elementary PTO in the amount of $180 for bus permits for Lakeview first grade field trip.
Okay, can I get a motion to accept the donation of $180, please? Trustee Carway, second. Trustee Iacono, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We have on tonight's consent agenda, a very robust consent agenda. I hope everybody was able to pick it up over there. Can I get a motion to approve this evening's consent agenda? Trustee Musafra, Vice President Musafra. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Trustee Travis, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll open it up right now to, we have resident comment. Oh, wait a minute. We just did that. Did Giovanna get here? No? Okay.
Take your time.
Yeah, take your time. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you need some help? Okay. Okay.
I'm
Okay.
so sorry.
Yeah,
that's
sorry
not
about
done.
that.
Thank you for coming
Yeah,
here, though.
yeah, no problem. Well, just take your time, go up. Thank you. Okay. Okay, no problem. Yeah, no problem.
My name is Elaine Jacobs. I have lived in, you know what? Yeah, and could you pass this out to Okay, I'll start again. My name is Elaine Jacobs, and I've lived in Mahopac for 50 years. Actually, I was a summer person before that, so I've lived in Mahopac, or at least spent my summers in Mahopac since I was 8 years old. I was elected to the Mahopac School Board, serving from 1984 to 1993. So I was elected 3 times. In the many years since I was on the board, many pedagogical changes in methodology and curriculum have come and gone. When I first got on the board, we were teaching children to read using ITA. I'm sure none of you have any idea what ITA is. No. It was the initial teaching, yes, of course. It was called
Sadly, I do.
It was called the initial teaching language, and students used a different alphabet or a different way of approaching letters. And to this day, my son, who is in his 50s, blames his inability to spell on having used ITA. But I am confident that the one thing that has not changed is the role of the school board and the superintendent in supporting and achieving academic excellence. Mr. Mangan, in the July 24th edition of the Mahopac News, you stated that one of your priorities is student achievement and balancing it with fiscal responsibility. Mrs. Nassafara, in the same article, you said that leadership is finding the balance between both education excellence and fiscal responsibility. And I'm afraid that under your leadership, the board has failed at both these, as demonstrated by recent actions. Mr. Mealy, where is he?
Right here.
You might remember me from long ago. And I remember you fondly. Mr. Mealy is a well-respected member of the community. He was considered an excellent athletic director, but unfortunately, I feel he does not have the qualifications to bring educational excellence to Mahopac's 5 schools, 689 students, faculty, and supporting staff. The change of superintendents and the hasty appointment of Mr. Mealy leaves one wondering about the board's motivation. Fiscally, this places a burden on the budget. Money being paid to the outgoing superintendent, along with the per diem cost for acting superintendent, is money taken away from achieving educational excellence and restoring Mahopac's ranking. And I hate to blow my own horn, but when I was on the Mahopac School Board, we were considered a blue ribbon school. And I would like to see us attain that status again. Is the board going to pay for a private search firm or use the services of BOCES? The process of selecting a new superintendent is long, and if done correctly, will take most of the academic year. Are your priorities in achieving academic excellence with fiscal balance or acquiescence to the board? And I am wondering which are your priorities. So, and one last point I would like to make. School boards are supposed to be apolitical. I was appalled when the ad to support certain candidates stated that they were endorsed by a political party. Decisions made by the board are for the best of the district, not by the ideology of a political party. By accepting their endorsement, you also accept the platform of that party. And I think nothing that has upset me more as someone who served on the board for 9 years than involving a political party in the school board election process. So I worked during the 9 years, even though it was a long time ago. We brought the Mahopac schools into the 20th century. We were the ones who introduced AP courses, we introduced computers. We thought about our little first graders and looked at them and wondered, what skills will they need in 12 years? What will and there were some of them that we realized were really important. They needed computer skills. They were facing a job environment where their job, whether they left their job or stayed in the same job, would be changing every 5 years. So they had to have thinking skills, adaptability, and these are the things that we worked very hard to achieve. And I hope they're still being achieved by the Mahopac schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Elaine. Lisa, next up. Yeah, yeah.
Good evening again, Mr. Mongan, the board, superintendent. I just wanted to comment on a community member last week who made some comments that I thought were not appropriate, and so I wanted to deal with each of them. We as a community do not know the specifics of confidential agreements or decisions that were made by the board. The previous board early extended the superintendent's contract, which added to the negotiations. It's ridiculous to say that we'll not find a superintendent who will take our position. We're offering a competitive salary and have a wonderful community. The same person also commented on the prospective board members campaigned on not passing the first budget proposal. This is not true. I attended most work sessions and board meetings where the members of the community spoke on how their taxes were high. People were being forced to leave the community due to high school taxes. They pleaded for a zero tax levy. The previous superintendent with previous board members insisted on a 1% tax levy increase, even though we had over 10 million release of reserve and 1.2 million from the sale of the school district land to the town. Superintendent insinuated that if we went to a 0% tax levy increase, we might incur problems with our credit score. This is unfounded because we had 0% budget increases in the past. We had an administration who just wanted to spend as much as possible. So this error in judgment caused us to waste a valuable $32,000 and resources to have a second budget proposal with a 0% tax levy. Why was this not the initial proposal? Last year they brought in consultants who said if they didn't increase the budget, how much they'd lose in perpetuity. The budget should be about spending, not what we need, not just spending. I'm curious to see if this year's audit, since last year we had over $4 million unspent that went to reserves, what's going to show up in this year's audit. Finally, the most outrageous comment was that the newly elected board members should resign because they're backed by the Republican Party, because they represented conservative values Republicans respect. Why is she not demanding the resignation of last year's Lisa Carway and Jennifer Travis, who were very clearly backed by the MTA with ads, emails, texts to parents? The MTA is a very small percentage of members as residents, but maybe because they represented her values, they're not upset by those elections. So it's a two-way street. I believe that the school board is doing what's best for the children of the school district and trying to be fiscally sound in achieving this position. So let's let the board do the work. And I find it offensive that all these people who have different beliefs are coming out and attacking people that were elected. They were duly elected. There was a vote. People came out. What is the problem with a Republican tag? Just because you're a Democrat, you don't like Republicans? Republicans have some good ideas. We value children. We value our education. So I think it's horrible when people get out and want people to resign because it wasn't their party and they lost. There were people that were on the board that were up for election who were on the board. They were not reelected by a significant amount. The people spoke. Why is that not enough? And I was sitting here now, I just also want to address one of the young students that spoke this evening. I was highly concerned with her feeling about hiring more teachers of their own race and ethnicity. That's clearly illegal. Maybe the students should read some of the current items how DEI is been brought down by the Supreme Court. I just don't understand. You were going to fire the white teachers? I mean, that's basically what she's saying. I don't understand it. I'm appalled. This is the youth. Okay? So, I'm sorry.
Attack adults, don't attack kids.
Yeah.
Do not do that.
That's what she
Do not
said.
do that.
That is not what she said.
Yeah.
Right, but she's talking about only hiring people to match with the ethnicity.
Marie, thank you.
I think we should just move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay,
Thank you.
next. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. All right, yeah. Can I get a motion to close the meeting, please? Hold on a second. What's that? No. Oh, okay. Thanks, Elaine. No, it's, okay, that's fine, thank you. All right. Okay, okay, so, yeah,
Committees,
yeah.
we need to vote on the committees if we missed that. Let's
Do we
vote
miss
on
that?
the
Okay,
committees.
can we get a vote on the committees, please? Vice President Masafra, second. Did I get a second? Oh, Trustee Iacono, all in favor? Aye, okay. Thank you very much, and then can I get a motion to close the meeting, please? Vice President, second. Trustee Iacono, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you very much, everyone. Have a nice evening.